to withdraw from our country.
There are no American combat troops in Cambodia. Cambodia is the Nixon doctrine in its purest form.
He would say that, of course, he did not approve attacks on Cambodian territory.
Spencer Dale was different. He didn't
versus Spencer Dale during the early 1970s.
Colonel Peter Darcy was Australia's military attaché in Cambodia at the time.
I think he saw himself as a bit of a Lawrence of Arabia.
I would look upon that as very far-fetched.
What about a Walter Mitty?
Well, Walter Mitty used to imagine things and dream up things, but Spencer Dale actually went out and did things.
The reason I went to Cambodia was for the adventure, for the unknown. Sean Flynn was there at the time, and I said, well, if that guy can do it, that's what I want to do. I want to go up there and I want to photograph the war, the people, the city, the atmosphere. This is history. It's history in the making, and I want to be part of that history, and I want to have a permanent record for myself and for the world.
I didn't know anything about the bombing when I went to Cambodia, and in fact I didn't know anything about it until after it broke in the newspapers.
The only way out was to prevent the Khmer Rouge from taking over the country.
I wanted to be part of it. I wanted to get there and be in it. I bought new cameras and just decided to depart from the ordinary. Did do something totally outside the box. Went there and did what I did. In Vietnam, you had to be accredited to go out to these battle sites. But in Cambodia, some information came back to me from various sources that you could go anywhere, do anything. That was a giant magnet. It just pulled me. It just pulled me there. My first few days in Phnom Penh, I tried to circulate around the city itself, and I took my camera everywhere I went. And on this particular day, which was about 5 or 6 days after I arrived, I was walking past an area of downtown Phnom Penh, and I saw all these brilliant lights inside this particular villa. As I got closer, I could see that there were a lot of monks in golden robes going inside. So I walked in and I began to film inside this villa. There was a coffin covered in white silk. I had absolutely no idea. The body of the man inside the coffin was the father of the son who would save my life in 4 days' time. I arranged through a little Cambodian army lieutenant to be taken out to what he said was his general's area, where there was a lot of fighting between his unit and North Vietnamese soldiers and also Khmer Rouge soldiers. And around about 11 o'clock, some people out in the rice paddy started shooting at the pagoda. I was the target of all this attention. And the little lieutenant there sent a radio message to the base, to the general's base at Compon Spur, saying, if you don't come very, very quickly with the relief column, so everyone here will be dead in 60 minutes. I was taken to the base of the Cambodian 13th Brigade at Compon Spur, and its commander was Prince General Norodom Chantransai. When I met General Chantransai, the chemistry that passed between him and me was just absolutely electric. It was just like meeting a long-lost brother or a long-lost young father. So I resolved to do everything I possibly could for this man and his people. I was connected with the CIA simply because circumstances and the fact that I could see Chandra and Sai needed the support of the agency, of external assistance, other than straight through the US Embassy, through the military channels. Change of government in Australia was catastrophic because it was a death sentence for the Cambodian nation, not just the Cambodian army. Whitlam stopped the aid, Australian aid. People I was working with and the government of Cambodia thought it was outright betrayal and outright treachery. Simple as that. The generals thought that everybody, including the defence attaché at the Australian Embassy, was a spy. And they actually went so far as to think that they were passing information that they would see in Cambodia back to Sihanouk and hence to the Khmer Rouge.
I was being badgered by all sorts of people, including journalists, as to why Spencer-Dale, who's Spencer-Dale, what's Spencer-Dale. And we were very busy people having a look at the whole war, not just Spencer-Dale's war. I'd let him understand that, I'd rather he wasn't there.
The military, and the generals in particular in Cambodia, on hearing this news that they'd been stabbed in the back and betrayed, and it was simply that General Macy Chan, whom I was with at this particular time in one of his bunkers, his command bunker, he said if Darcy walked through that door there now, he'd blow his head off with a 45, with his 45. And with that, he pulled it out, put it at my head, cocked the hammer, and I believed, yeah, he would definitely blow Darcy's head off. Who was the Australian Defence Attaché? I see myself now, after experiencing this adventure, trauma, extreme trauma, to be a much wiser person. I think the story is so unique because of what it is, what it embodies, what it shows. And what it shows is, I feel from my own perspective, is the love and the care for a group of people, and the principle, of course, amongst them was Chandra and Sai, to try and save them, to try and keep them alive. If you want the base words, the base reason, that's it. Because from the moment I met them, I could see that these were great people. They were all great people. Even the lowly little soldiers were great people. Yeah, my aim was to save them, and even after doing everything I did to try and save them from death and to keep them alive, I failed. And after all these years, I've been looking back, and of course I'm living, they're dead. We spent some time with the generals at Kompon Spur, General Simun. We had a complete day with him and his officers at my old base at Kompon Spur, where I used to live with my previous general, General Prince Norodom Chandran Sai. I told the general I was coming and I was going to be dressed in my old Chandran Sai American uniform. And when I arrived at the base, I was welcomed like a very old friend. Some of these officers that he has there were ex-Khmer Rouge. It was the same feeling, even with the one particular general included, General Narin, was totally ex-Khmer Rouge, very hardcore Khmer Rouge. He was wounded more than 70 times. All these generals, there was a total of 5 of them, they said that what I did with Chandran Sai was the correct thing, and they said it was a very brave act, and Narin and all the other generals said it was a very heroic thing that I did.